Mrs. Albright, as a co-author of Transformations in the World, which to some extent resulted in overthrowing the communism in Poland as well, did you so imagine during that time the way the world and Poland looks right now?
No, I did not, frankly. I had hoped very much that the countries that had been stuck behind the Iron Curtain would understand how important it is for there to be multi-ethnic societies and to really want to be a part of the Western system. And I do think that as one looks at what is happening in some of the countries, it's a little bit disappointing. I find it always very difficult to interfere in other countries' internal affairs. But as we watch what some of the things that are happening in Poland, a lot of us are looking and wondering where Poland wants to be. It wanted to be part of the European Union and has benefited from being part of the European Union, and yet people are really looking at some of the aspects of the government that seem to be going in a different direction, and that's troubling.
So maybe some pieces of advice for Polish government, especially in terms of foreign relations.
Well, I think it's very important for the Polish government to abide by the rule of law and democracy and try to, I will tell you very frankly, I think people were disappointed in some of the changing of the judges and making certain rulings, but I don't want to interfere. I just was very proud when communism ended and Poland, I was in Poland, and really saw the kinds of things when Pope John Paul came, and it was so clear that Poland was going to lead the way in resurrecting a country after communism. And so I have to say very frankly, it's a little disappointing to see some of the activities that are going on now. But I think the Polish people are smart and that they understand the importance of free and fair elections and the rule of law.
What are the greatest challenges the world has to face nowadays?
I think that there are many challenges, but the challenges are basically that there's not a lot of faith in institutions, that people don't know what their governments are doing for them or demanding too much. I think that one of the other challenges are the very large numbers of what I call the international homeless, the refugees that have been pushed out of their own countries and are looking for places to live, and at the same time, some countries that you would think would be hospitable are not. And so there are those issues, and then obviously we all have to work very hard together to fight terrorism and not let the terrorists control our lives.
Are you in favor of setting up permanent bases in eastern flank of NATO eastern flank in Poland?
I think that we need to definitely get more bases in there, whether they're permanent or not. That has been one of the issues because the NATO-Russia Founding Act, which I was involved in, of course the Russians were the first one to break it. They are the ones that did the illegal activities in Crimea. But I do think that NATO is looking very much at moving forces around, rotating, and then also being able to pre-position some equipment. But I think that, and as I understand it, the Polish people are welcoming that. But I think we have to watch how we cooperate within NATO, and everybody needs to do their share.
In one of your books, you wrote that in 1990s, American PR agency Rudder Finn proposed Slobodan Milošević to set the narration that they will be perceived as the good ones. And Milošević rejected, so they went to Croatian leader, and he agreed. In spite of the all horrors of the Balkans, do you think that this decision somehow affected the perception of this war?
I think that the Balkan War came about as a result of Slobodan Milošević's crimes, which was doing ethnic cleansing and pushing people out of where they lived. And I think that it was very important to respond to that. I found really important that just in the last few weeks, Radovan Karadzic, who was very much a part of that, was sentenced, was guilty of some of those crimes. And I think that the world reacted right in terms of what we did to help the people in the Balkans be able to live the lives they wanted to. And I think that there have been changes both in Serbia, Croatia, everywhere, Kosovo, Bosnia, Herzegovina. So I think we did the right thing.